So let's continue implementing the functionality for getting previous conversations. We are done with the backend now, so let's come to the front end and also do the front end part. All right, we are here in our user service. The first thing we need to do, let's implement the API that will communicate with backend to fetch previous conversation. So let's start with that. Response async function. All right, so it's going to take in the sender and receiver. Then the next thing we are going to say, let's put this in a try catch. All right, so let's say const response will be equals to await fetch. So let's do like, let's say http / localhost. All right, we are say 3030 /API /v1 conversations. All right, so then we are going to say sender will be equals to, let's encode the URI components. All right, receiver will be equals to, we also encode the URI components of the receiver, and then the method also specify the header. So we're going to say content. So we're also sending the authorization. So we're going to pass in the bearer token. Let's say local storage dot. So this is what we have. Then so we're now going to say, so let's say if not response dot okay. First of all, let's say const response data will be equals to response JSON, like this. So we're going to say throw new error. So we're going to say response data dot details error fetching previous conversation, like this. All right, so we want to return the response data. So let's undo the catch. We're going to catch error. All right, so we want to throw the error. All right, we'll also say console dot error. So an error occurred while trying conversations. All right, please try again. So we can do something like this. So this is it now. So let's now use this functionality in our user service. Function updates previous conversations. So we are going to put this in a try catch. So we are going to say try. So the first thing we need to do is to get the chat container element. Then we are going to say document.get query selector dot chat container, like this. So we're going to say if not chat container, we'll just return early. All right, so then the next thing we need to do, let's get the sender. All right, we'll get the sender from local storage. Sender username will be equals to local storage dot get item. Get the username of the sender. All right, then let's also get the receiver. Let's say const receiver gets receiver. I'm not sure I have this function. Let's implement this function to get receiver. All right, so let's implement this function to get current receiver. So we implement this method for getting current receiver. All right, so after getting the receiver, the sender and the receiver, in fact, let's name this sender. All right, to be more intuitive. After getting the sender and receiver, so we want to check if they actually exist. If not sender or not receiver, chat container dot inner html /div. So we have a div class. Don't worry, the styling for this div is already in the CSS. All right, so we are going to say select a user to view message. So the next thing for us to do is to fetch the previous conversation. All right, so let's use that API that we have created. I think it is call it get previous conversations, like this. So we are going to pass in the sender, and we are passing the receiver. So let's call it const conversations. So we're going to say if conversations. So let's display a message in the chat container. So let's sort the conversations. All right, so we want to get the latest conversations first, and then new date. After sorting the conversation, the next thing is for us is to show the conversation. We're going to say conversations. We're going to say message, and we're going to call a message, a function called show message, like this. So the message is going to take the sender. All right, so we're still going to create this show message function. So then let's catch the error. So we're going to say console.error previous conversations. All right, try again. So we are going to now say chat. So we are going to create another div, an error div this time. Failed to load messages. All right, so let's close this div out of this method. All right, I think that is all we need for this our update previous conversations method. So immediately we fetch the previous conversation, we would want to empty the chat container. The chat container.inner.html will be equals to empty. All right, so now this is what we have here. So let's create a new file, call it chat.js. So let's say document dot add event listener. So let's get the form submission ID, the submit button. That's what you want to chat with the user, the button you use to send message. All right, so we're going to say const submit btn will be equals to documents dot get element by id. So let's get it from the HTML, so pass it here. So now let's get the current user. Let's say the user that is currently logged in. Let's say const current user will be equals to local storage dot get item. So get the username from the local storage. That's the logged in user. Let's also get his token. Let's say const token will be equals to local storage dot get item. Get the token. So let's say if the current user does not exist, that's if the username does not exist in the local storage, let's redirect the user to the login page. So we're going to say if not current user, we want to say window dot location dot href will be equals to slash pages slash login dot html. Now let's set up the WebSocket configuration. Let's say function set up WebSocket, set up WebSocket configuration connection, sorry. Right, so now let's import this method from our WebSocket. Let's say from dot slash WebSocket. We have WebSocket.js here. So let's import this method connect to WebSocket. I've imported this method. All right, so this is where we are going to use it. So let's pass in the current user, and then let's pass in the token. Then we are going to specify this method handle incoming messages. We are going to define it, create this method now. All right, well, we have set up the WebSocket communication. So let's continue. Now let's set up the submit button. So we are going to say function set up event listeners. All right, this will be for the submit button. We are going to say they want to add an event listener to the submit button. But add event listener. So once we click the submit button, all right, we'll pass the event here. And then we are going to say event.prevent default behavior. All right, then we want to send message. So we are going to create a method for sending message, but we have set up our event listener for the submit button. Now let's create the function for handling incoming messages. Function handle incoming messages. All right, so it is going to take messages. So now we want to first of all, let's get the current receiver. All right, so we are going to import the method. We have the method in our user service, so we import it. Let's reuse this. Then we'll come to this place, and then we can say get current receiver. So we're importing it here. So we're going to call that method here, get current receiver. All right, let's say const current receiver will be equals to current receiver, like this. Now we want to check, let's apply some check before we show the message. We are going to say if, sorry, let's change this to message. So we're going to say if our message dot sender is equals to the current user, and message dot receiver is equals to current receiver, or sorry, let's wrap this in a bracket, or we want to say, or if message dot sender is equals to current receiver, that's the receiver is the one sending, and message dot receiver, that's the currently logged in user, which is the current user, is the receiver. Then we want to also check if the sender is sending the message to himself. So we're going to say if message dot receiver is equals to current. If we have any of this case, so we want to show message. All right, call this show message function like this. We want to show message, then we are going to pass in the message. All right, so now let's continue. So the next thing we want to say if we want to check if not, that's if the, we are going to say if not message dot sender. All right, so if the sender is not equals to the currently logged in user, that means the message is coming from someone else. All right, and that means the sender is not the receiver. So we want to add whoever is there is sending that message to the senders, that's the currently logged in users chat display section. All right, so let's do it this way. Then we'll now call this method. There is a method we created to add sender to search results. All right, so let's import the method we created. It here in the user side. This is it. So let's import this method. We're going to import this method from the user service, and then we'll pass message dot sender. All right, so that's it for the function to handle incoming messages. No, sorry, I think this logic is wrong. We should have done if message dot sender is not equals to current user. Yeah, this is better. All right, now let's have our another function. Let's have the function that handles sending of messages. So let's say function send messages. So now for us to send message, we need to get the receiver. Let's say const receiver will be equals to get current receiver, like this. We'll get the receiver, and then we want to get the message input. Let's say const message input will be equals to document.get element by id. So let's get the id of the message input. All right, so we add it here. So we want to get the value. We want to get the value and want to also trim it to remove extra white space. All right, so that's what we have now. So let's just log the receiver. Let's say console.log sending messages to receiver. We want to also make sure that for a user to send message, he needs to select the receiver, all right, of the message. So we're going to say if not receiver. All right, so we want to alert the user. We are going to say select, then we return, or we can just say please select a user to chat with. This is better. So we want to also ensure that the user is not sending an empty message. We are going to say if not message input. Let's alert the user. We want to alert the user, please type a message to send. Let's say message cannot be empty. Now let's have a try catch. We want to call that WebSocket functionality that we already implemented for sending messages. So let's import it. We are going to say, let's come to WebSocket and see what's the name of that method. We called it send let's rename it to send message. All right, so we are going to import it here. So we are going to pass in the current user, then we pass in the message input, and then also the token. All right, so we're going to say const success, that's if the message is successful, const success. So we want to check if success, we want to say message input dot value. All right, so we want to clear the value, then we want to focus on a message we want to focus on message input. Now we want to also show the message depending on who the message is sent to. So if the message is sent to the receiver, all right, so we want to show the message immediately on the site. So we are going to say if our receiver is not equals to the current user, all right, so we want to show the message. We'll call this function to show the message. So now the sender will be the current user, and then the receiver will be equals to, we're going to pass in the receiver, then the message, passing the message input, then the time will be equals to new date, all right, dot to string like this. So we can just make this, change this to message content. All right, so this will be more intuitive. So message content, then we say message content like this. Let's change this to message content. So let's call this message content. All right, so let's have the cache here. Let's catch the error in case if there's any error. Let's say console dot error. Oh, there's a mistake here. Why do I use equals to? So you'll just say receiver. Console dot error, we can say failed to send message. All right, so we add the error like this. So we want to also alert the user. We want to say, all right, so that's it for this method for sending messages. So now we are going to initialize some functions. Let's call this function, let's say initialize applications. All right, then also let's initialize this function for getting the current this function. Let's initialize this function for initializing the chat list. All right, we have exported it here, so let's import it. Then let's also export this one. We'll import it here also. Then also let's import it here. All right, and let's also initialize it like this. So after initializing it, so then let's now call this method. Let's say initialize applications, and then let's also initialize this setup WebSocket connection here. Let's do the same for setup event listener. All right, so now let's implement this functionality for showing the message. Let's call it, let's say export function show message. So this is going to take a message as an argument. All right, so let's start by getting the chat container. We're going to say const chat container will be equals to document.getElement by ID. We're going to say chat container, that's the ID. So if this chat container is not found, if not chat container, so we want to return. So we want to get the username, all right, the sender and also the receiver. So we want to say const current receiver will be equals to get current receiver. We are going to import the current receiver is here already. We already imported it from the user service. Say get current receiver. Then we want to say const sender will be equals to local storage.get item. So we want to get the username, that's of the sender. All right, so let's check if the message belongs to current conversation. We are going to say const current conversation will be equals to, so we are going to say if message.sender, if the sender is this sender, which will be the current user, if it's equals to sender, and message.receiver is equals to current receiver. So let's add this into in an extra bracket like this. If message dot sender equals to current receiver, message dot receiver is equals to sender. So we want to check. So if not current conversation, we want to return. All right, this is just to be sure that the current conversation is going on between the current sender, that's so the user that is currently logged in, and the current receiver that we have gotten from this get current receiver. Now let's check the message direction. Let's know who is sending and who is receiving. Let's say cost is sender will be equals to message dot sender is equals to sender. All right, so let's determine who is the receiver. We are going to say const is receiver equals to message dot sender is equals to current receiver, or message dot receiver equals to sender. All right, so if not is sender, not is receiver, so let's terminate, let's return early. All right, it's just like terminating the program early. Let's use and. All right, let's make this more strongly defined. Then we are going to say, so let's create the message element div. All right, we're going to say const dot create elements. So we want to create a div. We are going to say message element dot class list dot add. So if it's sender, if it is the sender, we want to add the sender message div. I already designed that using the CSS code. All right, I've already written a style for it, so you will see how it will come up when we are done. So if it's sender, so we want to have this div. We want to have a message content sender. This should be contents. If not, it will be the receiver. Then we'll have message content receiver. All right, the next thing is for us to format the time. All right, that's coming from message. So we're going to say const time. Const time will be equals to new dates. So let's say hour, 2 digits like this. Then minutes, sorry, I think this is a comma. Then we'll continue. We say message element dot inner HTML be equals to, so we are using the missive because this will hold the exact message that will be in the message elements. So this will be sender message. If it's not sender message, it's going to be the receiver message. This is going to be like the container. All right, like in the chat message. Remember, like in WhatsApp now, if you send message to somebody, you see the message will be enclosed within a box. All right, so and inside that box we have the message, we have the time that the message is sent. So that's what I'm trying to achieve here. Then we have an h5 tag. So now we want to append the message element, all right, to the chat container. So let's pass in the message element here. We'll just append it to this container. All right, then we want to ensure that the chat scroll to the bottom. All right, so chat container does scroll. So that will be all for this functionality for sending messages. So we need to implement another functionality that will populate, because if you look here now, we have this function. We call this to update receiver details. All right, so the receiver, we are going to have like a division in the chat page. This side will be the message area, and this side will be the display area where you display your search results or the users you want to chat with. Now this side where you display the users you want to chat with, that is it is that part that will contain the sender's details, the sender profile picture and all that. The one that will the message area will actually contain the receiver's profile picture and all that, which we have handled in this function for updating receiver detail. So let's have another function that will handle the updating of our sender's details. We are going to export that function because we'll use it in the chat page. Let's say export function populates user profile. So we can quickly get the user profile elements. So let me just get them. All right, so we have gotten the user profile elements, the profile image, the profile name, the chat head. You can get all this in the HTML, they are there. I just want us to save time, so I have to like just populate them. Then also we can fetch the username from the local storage. His first name we can fetch from local storage, his last name we can get it from there, our profile picture we can also get it from local storage. All right, so we are going to now say if, all right, in the local storage, so we want to set it to the profile image. We are going to say profile image dot source will be equals to profile picture, sorry, will be equals to profile picture, like this. Then also the chat image edge, we're also going to set the profile picture. So let's construct the user's full name. Let's say full name. All right, they want to say profile name. Let's just set it to the profile name. So profile name dot test context, want to pass the full name, like this. So this will be all right, there's nothing crazy, it's just so simple. We just set the profile image and the chat head image, then the first name, the username, and the last name of the user. All right, so that's what we just need to do. So let's export it to the chat page. So first of all, we initialize it here, then we are exporting it like this, okay, from utils. Yeah, so this is what we have now.